Hello everyone, in this video we will be creating a Nintendo Game Boy from start to finish. This is going to be a two-part series where in this first part we will be modeling the Game Boy entirely in Blender, and in the next one we will be texturing and rendering it. Therefore don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next part. All the required files are linked below, so let's get started. Alright, now what I want to do is I want to bring in this reference image, so this one, into Blender so that we can use it to create a model. So first, what we need to do is we need to press 1. So basically this is the front view. This is the orthographic front view. You can see over here, this is the front side view. If you press 3, this will be the right view, 7 would be the top view, and 9 would be the bottom view. So you should remember all these shortcuts. They would be really useful in the course, and we will be using them a lot. So 1 is for front, 3 is for right, and 7 is for top, and 9 is for bottom. This is on the number pad of your keyboard. One more thing, if you press 1, it will show you the front orthographic view, but if you press Ctrl plus 1, then it will show you the back side. Similarly, 3 is for right side and Ctrl plus 3 is for left side. Alright, so now that is clear, I will press 1 so that I can go back into the front view only. Now I will press Shift plus A to add a new object. Let's go over to image, and we need to add a reference image. So now I will just head over to my tutorial directory over here, open up the reference images folder, and we need to just bring in this reference image. Alright, so as you can see, it is aligned with the front side view. If you press 1, you can view this image properly. If you press 3, you are viewing it from the right side. It is basically a 3D plane, so we cannot really see it from the right side, but if you press 1, you will be able to see the image. So just select the image, press G, then Y, and move it like this a little bit back so that it is not at the center of the scene, so that we can just add objects over here and press 1, and you can see we can easily match it with the reference image. If you enable this X-ray, we can easily see the object and a reference image, and we can easily model everything that we want to according to it. Let's just press tab again to go out of the edit mode, select the cube, press delete. Alright, now what I will do is I will select the reference image again, press Shift plus D, duplicate this and make sure you hit Y to lock it on the Y axis like this. Let's place this back over here, somewhere around in the middle only. It does not have to be perfect. Then you can just press R to rotate it, and now make sure to press Z to lock it on the Z axis, and then just type in 90. So I think you understand what I'm doing right now. I'm creating the reference image for the right side. So press G, then X now, and move it like this. So this way what will happen now is if I press 1, we can see the image from here, then we press 3, and we can see it over here also, so that we can model the right side of the model. And we will be worrying about the left side and the back side later on, but first we will be just modeling the front side and this right side. Alright, so now all that's left is to just select the images, and let's do a couple of settings. What I will do is I will come over here in the object data properties and make sure to enable only axis aligned. So what this will do is it will make the image invisible. Let's just do it for both of them. And it will be only visible when you are actually in the particular axis that it is aligned to. So this is currently aligned to the front axis, or we can say the Y axis. So if you press 1 now, you can see you can now view the image, and if you press 3, you can view this right side image. But as soon as you move out of the axis, they become invisible. So that is really helpful for us because it won't be obstructing any view. Alright, so now we can finally start modeling our object. So press Shift plus A, and let's just add a simple cube. But before proceeding, I will just quickly hit save. So press Ctrl plus S, and let's just save our file. I will head over to the tutorial directory again. You can open it up, and in the Blender files, let's just save it as Nintendo Game Boy, and it's saved. Alright, so now we can start. So first press 1 to go into the front side view, and we can select this cube, and let's just place it over here at the top. So to move it, you just need to press G and place it over here this way. You can enable X-ray so that you can properly view the reference image, but now you will notice that you cannot really see your cube. So to fix that, what we basically can do is we can press 1 first for the front view, Let's just select this image and we can decrease its opacity until we can finally see our cube again. So maybe we can set this to something like 0.25, because we can still basically see the reference image and we can see our cube also. So that is pretty good for us. Let's just do the same thing for this one also. Enable back the opacity and let's just set the value to 0.25. Press 3 for the right side view and you can see we can see it properly. Next, what you can do is you can just select this and try to move it over here to place it with the right side. Press tab to go into the edit mode. Now you can press 1 for the vertices select. So we can select the vertices by pressing 1. 2 is for the edge select mode. We can select the edges, and 3 is for face select mode. This is pretty basic stuff. I am pretty sure that you are aware with this. Alright, so again I will press 3 for the right side view. Press 1 for vertices select. Make sure X-ray is enabled and just select all of this. Press G, then Y and place it somewhere like this. Match it with the reference image. Similarly, do it for this side also. Press G, then Y and place it like this. Also, let's bring it down from over here. So press G, then Z to lock it on the Z axis and place it like this. Alright, we are pretty good to go. Now I will press 1 for the front side view. And basically what we can do now is we do not need to like place it up, because you will notice that it is now out of alignment with the right side. So a simple way to do it would be to just select the reference image and bring it down. So press G then Z and let's just bring the reference image down completely. And yeah, as you can see, it fits perfectly from the bottom and the top. So now we do not really need to adjust it again and again. We can just select the cube, press tab, select these vertices, press G then X and place it over here. Then select these vertices, press G then X and again place them over here like this. Alright, so now you will notice that we have got our basic shape, very basic shape. If you press 1, we can perfectly view it in the front view, perfectly aligned with the reference image. And if you press 3, we can see it perfectly in the right side view. Alright, so now we can start with the modeling. Let's see what we can do first. First, what I want to do is I want to make sure that we apply the scale of this. Whenever we change like the scale of the object, make sure you apply the scale. So if you aren't aware with this concept, what this basically means is whenever you like change the scale of the object like this, you just need to press Ctrl A and apply the scale. So yeah, make sure to just remember this. If you want to know why we do this, let me just quickly explain it to you by just adding 2 different cubes. So let's just add this one cube, press Shift plus D to duplicate this over here like this. And now what I will do is I will scale it up like this. And I will scale this one also like this. You don't need to follow me over here. I'm just explaining you a very simple concept. So as you have noticed, I have scaled both of them, but I haven't really applied the scale for any of them. So I will just select this one and press Ctrl A and apply the scale for this. Alright, so this one has its scale applied and this one does not. If I select this cube, press tab and let's say I select any simple command. So I will press 2 for the edge select, press A to select everything, and then basically I will press Ctrl B. So Ctrl B is the beveling command, and you will notice the bevel is not really working properly. It has beveled in a very weird way. The bevel is like very stretched over here and it is like very short over this edge, and overall the object looks very weird. But if I select this one, press tab and let's just do the same thing. So press 2 for edge select, press A to select everything, and then if I press Ctrl plus B to bevel this one, you will see that the bevel is completely uniform and perfect. So this is what happens when you like apply the scale of an object and you don't apply the scale. Things can get a little bit weird. So make sure whenever you change the scale of the object, you always press Ctrl A and then apply the scale. So yeah, if that's clear now, select this object, press Ctrl A, apply the scale. Also what we can do is we can place its origin back at its center, because you can see it is kind of out of place. Origin is this yellow orange point. So go over to object, set origin and origin to geometry. You can see now it is perfectly at center. Alright, enable back X-ray and let's see, we can select this edge over here. So press 2 and select this edge. Press 1 again for front view, and now press Ctrl B to bevel this to create this sort of shape, this curved edge. And you can use your scroll wheel to like increase or decrease the number of segments. So increasing the segments will obviously increase the poly count, but it will also make your edge very smooth. So I think I will go with the higher number like 6, 7, 8 to make it just like very smooth, so that we don't have any kind of like low poly feel, because I don't want this to look bad. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We can just hit right click and hit shade smooth. You will notice everything is looking kind of weird after shading smooth. So you can just come over here in the object data properties, in the normal section, make sure to enable auto smooth. So whenever you shade smooth anything, just make sure to enable auto smooth so that everything looks perfect. Alright, one more thing, I will come up over here and enable the cavity and the shadow. This basically enhances the look of your model, and it makes it a little bit easier to view all these edges. As you can see, if you disable this, the edges are not that visible, but if you enable this back again, the edges are pretty visible and they look good. So yeah, I just like to keep this on enabled. So yeah, these kind of things are like totally up to your personal preference if you want to enable them or not. I will just press 1, enable X-ray, and we can just continue modeling our object. You will notice that over here in the corner, the edges are all beveled and they are not like really sharp. So let's do that now. Press tab and select this edge, and this one. Press 1 for the front view. Zoom in on the reference image and just press Ctrl plus B and bevel it. Make sure to decrease the number of segments because it is a small bevel. So we don't want it to be too much. Alright, that's perfect in my opinion. And you can see the object or our model looks pretty good from the reference image. Let's just hit shade smooth again and enable auto smooth. Make sure that you keep on hitting Ctrl plus S to save your files so that none of your data is lost. Alright, so now let's keep on moving further. I will select this and let's just add a bevel modifier to this to smoothen out the rest of the edges. So I will add a bevel modifier, and also when we will use the Boolean modifier, it will work very well with the bevel modifier. So that's why we can add this modifier, and you can now reduce the bevel amount to your liking. We can like control it with this option over here. So maybe something like this is pretty good for now. We can obviously always change it later on. Come over here in the shading tab and we can enable harden normals from over here. Make sure that auto smooth is also enabled. If you disable auto smooth, then it won't work like properly and give you weird results. So yeah, make sure auto smooth is enabled, and we can enable harden normals from over here. And we basically have the base shape of our model. I will just press 1 for the front view, enable X-ray, and let's see. We can now start by adding all these details like creating these screens, adding these buttons, everything. So yeah, for us to do that, we need to use the Boolean modifiers. I will just quickly give you an overview about them. But first, I want you guys to go over to Edit and in Preferences, and in the Add-ons menu over here, make sure to search for the Bool tool add-on. So this one, and just make sure you have this enabled. We will be using this a lot. It gives us like small shortcuts for using Boolean modifiers. So yeah, it is pretty useful. We don't have to like go into the modifier tab again and again. So this add-on like comes pre-installed with Blender only. You just have to enable it. So yeah, after you enabled it, just close this window and let's see. We can start by quickly adding a cube to just show you what we can do with the Boolean modifiers. Select this cube and I will just press Shift plus D to duplicate it. The first very simple operation that we can use with Boolean modifier is there are like 2 or 3 of them. So the first one that you can visualize easily is you just select this cube, select this first cube, and now hold Shift, select the second cube. Then you can press Control plus minus key on your number pad. That is the shortcut for Boolean difference operation. As soon as you do that, you will see we have created this cutout using cube 1 onto cube 2. You can now select this cube 1, and when you move it around, you can see the cutout is also moving. So basically, this is Boolean modifier. We can like create different cutouts and many other things. I will just quickly show you. This is like one of the operations of Boolean modifier. Using this, we can like create very complex shapes and it will help us a lot in our course. So yeah, this was the first one. You can like even duplicate this thing. Let's place it over here. And again, select this first, then select this one, then press Ctrl plus minus on your number pad. And you can see we can create like multiple cutouts using multiple different objects. So yeah, this is the first Boolean modifier operation. I will just select this, delete this and delete this one also. Click on the cube and make sure to remove both of these modifiers. Again, let's duplicate this. The second one is pretty basic. You can just select the first cube, then select the second cube, then press Control and the plus key on your number pad. Basically, this one is the union modifier. Now, both of these cubes have joined together. You can see we have like three different operations: difference, union, and intersection. So, union will basically join these two. You won't really see the difference with this, but as soon as I select this object and let's add a bevel modifier to it, you can see the bevel is like completely connected to both of the objects and they both seem like a single object only. If you just enable harden normals and auto smooth, let's say I just add two cubes like this and I place them together in a similar way like this. You will see over the edges it is not looking that realistic, but if you use the Boolean modifier, we can add like things like bevel to make it smooth around the edges where these two objects are joining. Make it look like a little bit more realistic. You can see we can control the bevel over here also where these two objects are joining. So yeah, that's why it is like different from doing it this way. We can also adjust maybe the segments to make it smoother. So yeah, we can do all sorts of things, but I rarely use the union operation. I mainly use the difference operation and the intersection. So intersection is also pretty cool. Let's use these two cubes now. I will select this first cube, then select this second one. And what intersection will do is you will first press Control and then the divide or the slash key on your number pad. And you will see that this cube one has created like a cutout like thing onto our cube 2. So this is like really useful. What you can do now is you can select this main object and let's add a bevel modifier to it. And you can see we have created some sort of this shape. It is like really helpful while creating like sci-fi type designs. And yeah, anything where you have to create like this cutout like shape. It will also be really useful when we will be creating a Nintendo Game Boy. You can select this one too and add a bevel modifier to this also. And you can see how we can control like both of these objects. You can like move it around easily. So yeah, basically these are the three operations of the Boolean modifier. They are like pretty cool to use and you can get like various interesting shapes with this. So yeah, with this our little introduction of Boolean modifiers is done. So let's just select this all, delete it, and I will show you how we can use all of them into our model. So press 1 again, let's enable X-ray. And let's first create this thing over here, this big screen. So to do that, basically just add a cube. And again, we need to just match it along with the reference image properly. So just press tab, press 1 for the vertices select these vertices, bring them down, select these two and press G then X. And then select these bottom ones, then G, then Z and place them like this. We don't really have to worry about like the thickness of the object. We can just maybe place it like this. Any thickness would do. So this much is pretty good. So now if you remember, I mentioned earlier, whenever we change the scale of the object, we need to apply it. So press Ctrl A and apply the scale. Press 1 for the front view, enable X-ray. And obviously now we need to create all these small bevels. So to do that, first press tab, press 2 for edge select and make sure your scale is applied, because if the scale is not applied and you try to bevel all these edges, it might give you weird results. So yeah, press tab, press 2 for edge select and select this edge. Now press Ctrl B to bevel it out, and you can use your scroll wheel to increase the number of segments. Yeah, I think that's pretty nice. For this edge, now I will select all three of these. So press tab again, hold shift and select all three of them. Press 1 again for the front view and let's bevel these now. We can decrease the number of segments. Alright, that's pretty good in my opinion. Press tab and we have created the shape that we need to create a cutout of. So right click and shade smooth this first, enable auto smooth. And now what we need to do is we need to just select this, press G, then Y, and just move it inwards just a little bit so that these two objects are intersecting. And now what I want you guys to do is I want you to open up your reference images. And now what I want you guys to do is you can quickly open up your reference images folder and look at this reference image. Zoom in over here and you have to see what type of cutout that we have to create. So obviously we cannot really work with the union or the difference operation even. If we select these two, press Ctrl plus minus, we get something like this. That is because of the bevel modifier. We need to just move it down like this. Yeah, you can see we have created the cutout, but if you notice the reference image, we don't have to create like this sort of cutout. We have to use the intersection. So let's just undo this all. Select this first, then select this, then press Ctrl plus slash. And now you will notice we have got something like the reference image. We have something like this. We also have a cutout, but we also have a shape in between. So for things like these, the intersect operation of the Boolean modifier is really useful. But you can see the shading is really weird. So to fix this, just select this and you have to like make it a rule of thumb. Whenever we are working with the Boolean modifiers, the bevel modifier will always stay at the bottom of the stack. No matter how many modifiers are there, the bevel modifier, this one, will always stay at the bottom of the stack. If you do that, all your problems will be fixed, like related to the shading issues. For this piece also, select this inside one and make sure to move the bevel modifier below this. You can disable all the overlays to see your model properly, and you can see we have got a perfect cutout of the screen. What you can do now is you can open up this bevel modifier and you can play around with the bevel value to whatever you want. Like if you want a tight bevel, you can decrease it, or if you want like a more smoother look, yeah, that is definitely up to you. We can maybe place it somewhere around here. That looks fine in my opinion. Alright, so now I think you guys understand how to use the Boolean modifiers. Let's keep on moving further. Make sure to hit save. Let's enable the X-ray. And let's see, we can now create this screen portion at the middle. So to do that, again, we need to press Shift plus A and let's just add a simple cube. And we can just scale this cube accordingly to the screen. Yeah, I think that fits perfectly. Before doing anything, let's just quickly press Ctrl A and apply the scale. And again, bring it out over here. Select this piece and now this time I will select this piece. So hold Shift and then press Ctrl plus slash to use the intersection operation. And now we have something like this. Obviously, we need to move the bevel modifier below this. Then it would look better. So yeah, make sure to do this thing after every Boolean operation. Just select the bevel modifier and move it below the Boolean modifier. That way everything would work perfectly and we would have like correct shading everywhere. Alright, this looks pretty good in my opinion. Alright, so now let's again press 1, enable X-ray. And we have this small battery icon over here. We can also create that. Let's add a cylinder, scale this down. Place it over here, press R, then X to rotate it on the X axis like this. And then you can type in your number pad 90 degrees. And then we can just scale it down. Yeah, that's fine, I think. Let's bring it up over here. Shade smooth this and also enable auto smooth. And again, select the cylinder, then select this piece while holding Shift. Then you can press Ctrl plus slash to create the intersect. And now we need to again move the bevel modifier at the bottom. So just drag it down at the bottom of the stack. Make sure to do it for both of the pieces like this. Alright, I will reduce the bevel amount just a little bit. Also, I will just select this piece, press G, then Y, and move it a little bit backwards like this. just to give it like that screen like look. Select this piece, move this also backwards. Then I will select this again and just move it a little bit more. I think till here is pretty good. Yeah, that's okay, I think. All right, next we can start to create the buttons over here. So let's start with this one first. Add a cube, scale it down, place it over here. And let's see, we can create it very easily. I think we can just place it over here. Let's bring it out like this. And then press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press Tab, and let's see. Press 3 for face select, and let's select the top face and the bottom face. Press 1 for the front view, press Alt plus E, and extrude faces along normal. And then you can extrude it like this. Let's extrude this till here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I will just increase the thickness of this a little bit. And yeah, now in a similar way, let's move these apart. Yeah, now press 3, select this face and select this face. Again press 1, then Alt plus E, extrude faces along normal. You can also hold Shift while extruding to move it a little bit slower. And then you can place it perfectly like this. I think the actual button is still here. Alright, I think we are pretty good to go now. Let's bring it out. Press G, then Y. Press Tab, press 3 for face select. Let's select this face and just move it downwards like this. Shade smooth this and also enable auto smooth. Next, I will add a bevel modifier to this. Okay, before actually adding a bevel modifier, what I want to do is remove the bevel modifier, select this piece and just press Shift plus D to duplicate it like this, and then hit right click over here so that both of them are exactly at the same place like this. So the reason I'm doing this is because I have to use like one of the piece to actually create the difference operation. So what I mean by that is basically if I just quickly select this one again and delete it so that there is just one of them, I have to select this piece and then select this one, then press Ctrl plus minus to actually create the difference operation over here. And then we can like use the other one as the actual buttons. So yeah, I will just undo everything quickly. And before actually creating the difference operation, just select this piece, press Shift plus D, duplicate it, and then hit right click to place it exactly over here. Then we can select this piece, then select this one, then press Ctrl plus minus to actually create the difference operation. Move the bevel modifier at the bottom. And yeah, now we can see this is the reason I created a duplicate, because we have this button over here also. And now we also have the difference operation that we did just now. Alright, now I will just select this, press tab, press 2 for edge select, and select all these edges like this one, this one. So the shortcut for this is just hold Ctrl and Alt and click over here. And you can see now all of them are selected. Press tab first and press Ctrl A, apply the scale. Make sure the scale is applied. Press tab again, press Ctrl B, and let's bevel it out like this. I don't really know how much bevel we should go for. Let's enable X-ray and see over here. I think this much is pretty good. Shade smooth this again and enable auto smooth, and now we can maybe add a bevel modifier to this if we want to. Enable harden normals. Alright, so next we will detail the buttons even more. So select this piece, and if you know, whenever we like add a new object, so press Shift A and add a cube, it always gets added to this 3D cursor over here. So we can change the location of this 3D cursor wherever we want. you can hold shift, then use your right click to like move it around. And wherever this 3D cursor is placed, if you add a new object, it will be added over there at the location of the 3D cursor only. So let's delete this. I want to move the 3D cursor exactly over here at the origin point so that it gets added exactly at the center of our button. So to do that, just select the button, press shift plus S, then cursor to selected. It will bring the cursor over here. And now just press shift A and let's add a cylinder. Let's scale this down, rotate it by 90 degrees like this, and we'll just create a small hole in the center. Shade smooth this and enable auto smooth. Select this piece, then select this one, then press Ctrl plus minus, and just make sure to quickly move the bevel modifier below this. Select this and let's bring it out. We don't want it too much. I think this much is pretty good. Alright, that's fine, I think. Next, if you look over in the reference image, we have the small ridges like thing created over our button. So let's add that too. So press shift A, let's add a cube, scale it down. Let's place it over here like this. Scale it up to match the scale. Disable X-ray and let's bring this out over here. Press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press tab, and we will just bevel it out in the corners. So hold Ctrl and Alt and select all these edges. Then press Ctrl plus B. Decrease the number of segments because this is like a really small object. Shade smooth this and enable auto smooth. One more thing that I will show you is you can select any object. Like let's select both of them while holding shift. Then you can press slash on your number pad to like isolate them and work without the rest of the objects. So this is like really useful when you just have to focus on a couple of objects or one single one. You can just select them and press slash to go into the local mode and you can easily edit them here. So I will just select this. Let's press 3 for the right side view and rotate it a little bit like this. Now to duplicate this, we can press shift plus D to duplicate it like this. But I think a better way would be to just go over here, select it, and let's add an array modifier. You can see we can create duplicates with the array modifier, any number of them, but we don't want it on this axis. We actually want it on the y axis, sorry, on the z one. So set the factor of x to 0 and increase the factor on the z like this. Press slash again to come out of the local mode, press 1 and enable X-ray. And let's just quickly see the reference image. Alright, so that fits perfectly. Maybe I will just push it in a little bit and add 4 of them. I think 3 was fine. I think this way it looks much better. We don't really have to go exactly according to the reference image. I will now select this and now add a mirror modifier to this. And to mirror it properly over here, we need to set an axis. So we can select this object as the mirror axis. So select this object and over here in the mirror object, click over here and select this. Then set the Z axis and disable the X, and you can see we have mirrored it perfectly. But we cannot really mirror it over here. We just need to select it and then duplicate it. Like this, we can disable the Z and set the X axis now. Now just rotate it by 90 degrees. Press 3 for right side view. Enable X-ray first and let's see. We can place them over here. But we need to fix their rotation. Press R then Z and rotate it like this. Yeah, I think that works pretty good. Now to push it inwards, press G, then Y, and then you can press Y once again to align it perfectly with the rotation and just move it inwards like this. And yeah, now I think our button looks pretty good. We can maybe select everything over here and just push it in, these two also. So press G then Y and move it inwards because I think the button is not that big. Maybe we can see it from the right side view. So press 3. I think this is fine. I will also select the cylinder object and move it backwards. Alright. Next, let's see. Press 1 again, enable X-ray. Make sure to hit save and we can create these buttons now. So these ones are really easy to create. We can press Shift A, add a cylinder, scale it down, rotate it on the X-axis by 90 degrees, place it right over here. Shade smooth this and enable auto smooth. And let's see, before doing anything, we need to create the cutout for the buttons. So just select this one, enable X-ray, press Shift plus D, duplicate it over here. And now while these two are selected, select them both and then select this one at the last. Press Ctrl then minus to create the difference operation. Move the bevel modifier at the bottom. Alright, now we can actually start making the buttons. So select this one, press Shift plus S, cursor to select it to bring the cursor over here. Now we can add another cylinder, scale this down, rotate it on the X by 90 degrees. Let's see, let's scale the button down, move it outwards, shade smooth this first and enable auto smooth. Press tab to go into the edit mode. First, let's press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press tab, press 3 for face select. Let's select this top face and I will decrease its size like this. Next, we can go over to modify and add a bevel modifier to this. Adjust the bevel amount and enable harden normals and auto smooth. Press 2 for edge select, hold Alt and select this complete loop. Let's press Ctrl B and we can try beveling it this way. Let's see if that works. Alright, this looks pretty good in my opinion. You can also add a weighted normal modifier to correct the shading even more. You can see the shading is just a little bit weird. So sometimes adding a weighted normal modifier just fixes that. And yeah, the button looks pretty good in my opinion. Now I will just press Shift plus D and place it over here. If you want to place it perfectly at the center of this thing over here, there is like a small shortcut for this or like a trick. But first we need to go over to edit preferences and enable another add-on. So search for the copy attributes menu over here. This also comes pre-installed with Blender. You just need to enable it from over here. And after enabling it, when you press Ctrl plus C, you will see this huge menu appearing. So to use it, first select this object, then select this one because we want to copy the location to over here. Then press Ctrl C and then just select copy location. And yeah, you can see it gets placed perfectly at the center. And one thing that I'm noticing is that these things that we have created over here and in the reference image, if you see them, they are a little bit bigger than the ones that we have created. So let's fix that quickly. So just select this And to scale it properly according to the axis, because we have rotated it a little bit on the Z, just press S, then Z, and then press Z once again, and you will see that it aligns itself. And just increase the scale on the Z axis like this. Yeah, that's pretty good in my opinion. Now select this one. For this one, I think we need to press S, Z, Z again. Yeah, and just scale this one up also like this. You can press G, then Z once again, and move it downwards like this. I will just increase the scale a little bit more. Alright, that looks perfect, I think. Let's continue. Also, if you will notice that there is like a very light like hint of this circle like shape around the button, but we won't be creating it in the modeling phase. I will just add it later on while we are texturing this piece in Substance Painter. It would be much easier to do so. But for these buttons also, we have this shape over here. We can add this one in the modeling phase only because it is kind of easier to do so. So let's just do that now. I will enable the overlay, press 1 for front view and enable X-ray. So let's start by adding a simple cube. So press Shift plus A, add a cube, and let's place it according to the object over here. So you can press R to rotate it a little bit and scale it down. You can also view things like the rotation, translation, and the scale over here also in this menu. If you don't see this menu appear up, you can press N to bring this up like this and select the item tab from over here. And now I will just quickly change the rotation. So I will just select everything, put everything to 0. And for the Y axis, we can type in minus 25 degrees. Yeah, I think that works perfectly. And now just try to scale it properly according to the reference image. You can press G, then X and X to move it along the rotation this way. Now press S, then X once again to scale it like this along the rotation. Alright, I think that's pretty good now. So what we can do is we can first press Ctrl A, apply the scale, then press Tab and simply press 2 for edge select, hold Ctrl and Alt, select all these edges to bevel them. Press 1 once again, enable X-ray, and let's see, we can easily bevel this now. I think this much is pretty good and it fits perfectly. Let's select this, shade smooth this, enable auto smooth. And now just simply select this first, then select the main object, then press Ctrl plus minus. We need to move the bevel modifier below this. And yeah, that works perfectly. Just bring this out this way so that we have like a really faint cut. I think we can bring it outwards a little bit more. If you are seeing all these like little bits of shading issues, you can just try moving your like object around, and most of the times they will fix themselves only. Whenever you have these shading issues, you can like just move your object around just a little bit and you can find the perfect place where you are having no issues. I think we have to push it in this much. Then we can select both the buttons and push them back also like this. And I think that looks fine. Let's move further now and we can start by making these buttons over here. Okay, wait, let me see. I'm just not liking the depth of this cutout. I want to like push it forwards a little bit, but it is giving me a little bit of shading issues over here. that I'm not a fan of. Let's try adding a weighted normal modifier to this to see if that fixes it. Yeah, I think that did it. If you just turn it off, you can see all the shading issues, but if I turn weighted normal on, we don't really have them, and we can push it out a lot more in my opinion. All right, I think that looks much better because if you see in the reference image also, we don't have it like this cut out too deep. So yeah, this way I think it works best. So yeah, you can just add a weighted normal modifier to fix that issue of yours. Next, let's see, we can select this piece, and what I want to do is press tab, and I want to add bevels to these edges because over here in the buttons also it is there. So you can just press 2, then press Ctrl and Alt and click over these edges, then just press Ctrl B and bevel them out smoothly. Alright, that looks much better in my opinion. Alright, so let's hit save, and now we can start by creating these buttons over here. So enable X-ray, and let's see. First we need to again add a cube, scale it down, let's place it over here. For this also let's try -25 on rotation, but I don't think it would fit. Uh, I think it fits. Maybe we need to rotate it a little bit more. So this one we have to like just eyeball it. Yeah, I think that is pretty much okay. So we can maybe set it to -26. Yeah, that looks fine to me. Press Ctrl A and apply the scale. Press Tab and press 2 for edge select. Hold Ctrl and Alt. Select all these edges. And let's just quickly bevel it. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I will just quickly also open up the reference image. So let's open up this one, and we can just quickly look at how the cutout is placed. So let's see, we have one cutout over here, then we have another one inside it, then we have a button. So first let's create this outer cutout. Shade smooth this, enable auto smooth. And while this is selected, let's press shift and select this main object, press Ctrl plus minus. And first let's move the bevel modifier. Now we need to just move both of the modifiers, the bevel and the weighted normal also. So let's just select this boolean modifier and bring it above them like this. And let's see, what we can do is we can select this, press tab, press slash to go into the isolation mode, and press 3 for face select. Let's select this back face, press slash to come out of the local mode, and press Ctrl B to bevel the complete face like this. I think this way our cutout looks much better. And now we can just duplicate this over here, select it. Okay, sorry, I selected the wrong thing. Select this object, press shift plus D, and just place it right over here like this. And now we can select this, select the main object, press Ctrl plus minus. Select the bottom boolean modifier and bring it above the bevel and the weighted normal. And yeah, now we can start by creating the main button. So just add another cube, scale it down, rotate it by -26 on the Y. So make this one a little bit bigger than your reference image because we will be using this object as the cutout, and then we will add the main button over it. So I just make it a little bit larger. Press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press tab, press 2 for edge select, hold Ctrl and Alt, select all the edges, then press Ctrl B and bevel it out quickly like this. Pretty simple. Then we can just shade smooth this and enable auto smooth. Press G then Y and move it backwards like this. And before you actually use the Boolean modifier, press Shift plus D to duplicate. Then hit right click to place it exactly at this location. And then while it is selected, you can select the main object, press Ctrl minus. And we have created the cutout, but we cannot see it because of the duplicated piece. So just scale it down now a little bit so that we can see it properly. And it is still not that visible, but yeah, it is there. Because it is like a really small cutout, it is causing a little bit of shading issues, but I don't think that matters that much because it won't be visible. Next, let's shape the button a little bit. Press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press Tab. Let's press 3 for face select, select the top face, and then we can just bevel the top face like this to make it smoother. We'll select all 3 of these objects and bring them out a little bit. I think earlier one was fine. Now we can just select this and select this, then press Shift plus D. And if you remember, we learnt about the copy attributes menu. So while both of them are selected, select this, then press Ctrl C and copy location to bring them exactly at the center. Then you can just select them both and move them backwards like this. Select this piece in the middle and select this, then press Ctrl minus to create the cutout. Okay, I think we forgot to move the bevel modifier. That's why it was causing all the shading issues. I totally forgot about it. So yeah, move the bevel modifier and the weighted normal below this. And I think this way it works much better. And now I will just select everything that we just created, all 6 of them, and move them outwards. Like this. Turn off the overlay to see how it looks. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We are having a little bit of shading issues here and there, but I think they are really small and we won't be able to even see them from far away. So I think it's fine. We don't have to worry too much about them. Let's just hit save and we can continue. So let's see. Press 1 and next thing that we can do is we can create these shapes that are created over here. If you press 3, you can see them over here also on the side of your object. So let's do that now. So to do that, you can select the main object and press tab and you will see just a little bit of the Z fighting going on. So when the faces are like overlapping, it happens. So the reason this is happening is because we have used the intersect operation of the Boolean modifier 2 or 3 times. So that's why whenever we like go into the edit mode of the main object, we are seeing all this. It does not cause any problem, but if you want me to show you how we can fix this, it is really easy. So wherever we have used like the intersect modifier, if you select any of those objects and just quickly go into the object data property of theirs, you will see this 4 number is written over here. So that means this object data is being shared by 4 different objects, but we want that every object should have a unique object data property. So to do that, we just need to select the object and click over here. And as soon as you do that, now the 4 is not written. That means this object now has unique object data properties. So now select this one and you will see 3 written over here. That means now it is being used by only 3 objects. So just quickly click on here again and again. And now each one of them have unique properties. So now when you select the main object and press tab, you will see it is not appearing. It is just appearing over here because of the overlapping faces. If you want to fix that also, you can just select this object, press G then Y and bring it out just a little bit. So just like very small amount. And even if you do like a very small amount and now you select the main object, press tab, you will see it is not appearing. It is only appearing over here. So again, I will select this and we can just press G then Y and push it inwards, just very small amount. And now you won't see any kind of weird issues with your model. So press Ctrl S, save it, press 3 for right side view. And let's see, we can press tab, enable X-ray. You can start by pressing Ctrl R and adding an edge loop like this. So let's place it over here. Now press Ctrl R again and add one edge loop over here like this. You can hold Alt and click on the loop to select it. I think that's pretty good. You can press 1, enable X-ray, and then press Ctrl R and you will see the edge loop is not really working properly over here. So we have to create it manually. And don't worry, it's not that difficult. So press Ctrl R first, add one edge loop over here like this. Then press Ctrl R, add one edge loop over here like this. So now what we need to do is we can disable X-ray for now. We want to have them placed at exactly at the same height. You can see they are not really perfect right now. So for that we can use snapping. So you can go over here and enable vertex snapping. Just select vertex snapping from over here. Now when you press G and you hold Control, you will see you can snap it to any vertices. So the way we will properly align it with this edge over here is we will press G, then Z and lock it on the Z axis like this. So just come over here, press G, then Z to move it. You can see it is moving. Then hold Control and hover over this vertex. And you can see the location is now snapped and they both are now perfectly in line at the same height. So hold Alt, select this, hold Alt and Shift, select this loop and just press G then Z and move them upwards. Now to join them, you can press 1. Let's enable X-ray. You can select this vertex, hold Shift, select this vertex, then press J to select them. And at the back side also select them both, then press J. And you can see we have created the complete loop now. Let's disable X-ray, press 1 and yeah, we are over here. So let's move it right over here. And now we need to do the same thing again. So press Ctrl R, add edge loop like this. One over here. Press G, then Z and hold Ctrl to snap it. Select these two, press J to join. And select these two, press J to join. Hold Alt, select the complete loop. Press G, then Z and bring it up like this. Press Ctrl R. And now we need to add a couple of loops over here. So let's see how we can do that. We can add one like this. So let's just quickly add 4 loops on the top like this. Enable X-ray and you can just select all of them at once just by creating a selection over this vertex, and you will see everything is selected because X-ray is on. And now you can just move it over here. Select this one and move this one over here. Now let's see. We can add edge loops over here. So add 4 edge loops like this. You can select them both. So hold Alt, click over here and select them. Press G then X and just quickly snap them. So hold Alt, select it, press G then X to move them and snap it so that all of them are perfectly in place. Alright, now we can select these two, press J, select these two, press J, select these two and press J again and again. Let's do the same thing over here. Press Ctrl R and you can use a scroll wheel to increase the number of cuts. So we need 4 loops. So we'll do that. Hold Alt, select this one, press G then X and just quickly place them all together. Just like that. And now we need to just quickly join them. So select all of them one by one and press J to join them together. And now we have got a perfect loop that we can select and extrude So hold Alt and let's just select this complete loop. Press 3 for face select, hold Alt and select this loop like this. Let's press 3 and just let me see if the size is right. I will just press S then X and increase the size a little bit. Sorry, S then Y to increase the thickness of this just a little bit. Yeah, I think that is perfect. So now to extrude them, we need to extrude them inwards. So now to select it, you can hold Alt and click over here and select this complete loop. Then hold Shift and Alt and select this loop. Again, hold Shift and Alt and keep on selecting all the loops that we have to extrude. Press 1, enable X-ray and see if they are placed correctly. You can also check the proper edge length by going over here and enabling edge length. And when you press 2, you can just select this edge and you will see that the length is written over here 0.0253. If you like move the vertices, you will see the edge length is changing. So let's check for both of them if the edge length is same. So this one is a little bit larger. So what we can do is we can just select this loop and make it a little bit thicker. So it was 0.0282 and yeah, now I think they both would be same. So we can again just disable edge length first, hold Shift and Alt and quickly select all of these loops. And now you can just press Alt E to extrude them and select extrude faces along normals and we will extrude them inwards just like that. So very simple, you don't have to extrude inwards too much, just a little bit. And yeah, you can see that looks pretty good in my opinion. So our Game Boy is starting to come along a little bit. Also, if you want like better control over your bevel modifier, you can select the main object, go over in the bevel modifier and just disable clamp overlap in the geometry section. As soon as you do that, you will see everything goes a little bit weird, but don't worry. What basically has happened is it is now no longer clamping the overlap, and if you increase the bevel, you will see everything is now gone haywire. So you just need to control it very carefully. So maybe we can place it to 0.001 or you can just try checking it if it works perfectly with 0.002 also. If you see any kind of shading issues, you can just decrease it back to 0.001. So we are seeing a couple of them over here. So let's just put it back to 0.0015. Let's try 15. So I'm noticing there are like a lot of shading issues over here. I think that is mainly because they are like very small boolean modifiers and they are like very close to each other. So basically what I will do is I will just select these two and just delete them completely because I don't think we really need them. They are really small and we won't be able to see them properly, and it is causing to mess up our like bevels too much. So we can just remove them and we can adjust the bevel a little bit better. So set it to 0.002 maybe. And I think in my opinion that works much better and we don't have any kind of shading issues or like overlapping anywhere. Alright, so press 1, let's enable the overlays and enable X-ray and see what we have to create. So on our like the front screen, on the front side of the model, we only have this thing to create over here, this small little panel, and over here also. So let's just quickly do that. It is really simple. We just have to follow the same steps that we have done like quite a number of times now. So press Shift plus A and let's add a cube. Place it over here and let's scale it down. Press S then X and scale it up on the X axis like this. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Press Ctrl A and let's apply the scale. Press Tab again. Press 2 for edge select, hold Ctrl and Alt and select all these edges. Now let's press Ctrl B and bevel them out. Alright, that's pretty good in my opinion. So for this type of cutout, we can also use the difference operation, or we can also use the intersect operation. It is totally up to you, whatever you want to do. Because as the cut is really small, you can just maybe like select these two, press Ctrl plus slash and create this kind of intersection. And then what you can do is, first let's move the bevel below, and also make sure to, to move the weighted normal modifier at the bottom for both of them. So let's just select this boolean modifier at the bottom and move it above. So yeah, what I was mentioning is basically we can create intersect like this, and then we can push this object backwards to create something like this. That would also work, or we can directly use the difference operation, which in my opinion would be, I think, a little bit easier and much better approach. Let's undo everything till here. You can also look at in the reference image also, it does not feel like there is a panel inside, it feels like a cutout. So I think working with a difference operation would be much better. So just select them both and press Ctrl minus. Make sure to just, I will just collapse every single one of them. And yeah, now it is much easier. We can just select this boolean modifier and move it above the bevel. And yeah, you can just control it now to make the cutout like really small. And yeah, I think this in my opinion looks much better. Let's do the same for the bottom one also. Add a cube, scale it down. Press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press Tab, press 2, and hold Ctrl and Alt and select all these edges. Press 1 for the front view. Let's enable X-ray and press Ctrl B and bevel it out again. Alright, that is pretty good in my opinion. Right click Shade Smooth and enable Auto Smooth. Again, select these both, press Ctrl minus and just move the bevel modifier. Oh, sorry, move the Boolean modifier above the bevel modifier. And yeah, we are basically good to go. So if you look over here in the reference image, we also have the top view, and we also have this like small button like thing over here, which we do not really have in our reference image. I think we can see it from here. You can see over here, but we don't really have a top view. So we can just create that quickly. So let's see, we can look at in the reference image only. So it is placed along with this line that goes over here. So let's just add a cube over here like this. Press S then X, scale it up. I think it is around the size of this thing only, like this written thing, or I think it is a little smaller than that. I think this will do. Let's just try it. I will select this and move it backwards over here. And now just select them both, press Ctrl minus. First, let's move the Boolean modifier above the bevel modifier, and we can look at the reference image once. Yeah, I think it looks alright. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Let's just add the switch now. So add a cube again and make it roughly this size. Place it over here. I'll select the box. I will decrease its size on the x-axis, sorry, on the y, like this. And yeah, I think this looks really good. For the shape, we have a square at the bottom and a little cylinder that is poking out. So press Ctrl A, apply the scale first. We can add a bevel modifier to this, make it a little bit smoother. Press Shift plus S cursor to select it so that we can bring the cylinder exactly over here in its center. And let's just look at its shape for now. So that is really rounded at the top in my opinion. What we can do is shade smooth this, enable auto smooth, press tab, press 2 for edge select, hold alt and select this complete loop, press Ctrl B. And yeah, I think we basically have got the shape down. Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with it. Let's continue now. Hit save and press 3 for the right side view. Now I think we can start working on these things over here. So yeah, again, we'll just add a bunch of objects to create these cutouts and match the reference image. So let's start. We can maybe start with this thing over here. So press Shift plus A. Let's add a simple cube. And it is not really visible over here, but this thing is like a small dial. As you can see, this is like the volume dial. So we need to create a small cutout over here. I think this big. As you can see, there is like a small box like thing added over here. Really small, but we can add that small detail. So let's bring this out. Let's check with the reference image again. And yeah, I think that's fine. Select them both, press Control minus, and we have this with us. We can click over here to select this, press Shift plus S and cursor to select it. And now we can add a small cube that we can use to create this thing over here. All right, next we have to create the dial. So I think that is pretty easy. We can again add a simple cylinder and now just rotate it like this. So press R, then type in 90 and scale it down like this. Scale it up and press S then Y and scale it down on the Y axis like this. Press S then X and push it in this or we can just, let's see. Just a second, I'm trying to get the perfect scale for this. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We can select it, press Ctrl A, apply the scale. Obviously shade smooth this and enable auto smooth. And to make it look a little bit more like a dial, let's press slash, press tab, press 3 for face select, hold alt and select all these faces. Then you can press I to insert this once. Then press alt plus E and extrude faces along normal. Then insert this once again and press I one more time so that you can insert individual faces like this. And then again press alt plus E, then extrude faces along normal. And you can push this outwards or inwards wherever you want. Maybe we can create something like this. And this way it looks much more like a dial in my opinion. I think the shape is pretty good for now. Uh, let's just select this box over here, the boolean, press tab, press 3 for face select and push it inwards because I don't want to make the dial too big. And yeah, I think that's good. Let's continue now. Press 3 again, enable X-ray. And let's create this cutout next. So this is like, I think, a USB connector or some type of external connector because it is written over here. So yeah, we can create that simply now. Press tab. So press shift A and let's add a cube. Scale it down. Let's scale it up this much. Press tab. Press 1 for vertices select and place the vertices over here like this. And now we can first apply the scale. Then we can just press tab, press 2 for edge select, select both these edges. And then basically press Ctrl B and reduce the bevels to 2 to create this shape. Yeah, it was really easy to do. You can just decrease the amount of segments to 2 and we can easily make this shape. And yeah, this will be a cutout. So before actually like making the cutout, I will just duplicate this and place it over here and then select it, select this, then press Ctrl minus. I will copy this thing over here, this box that we created, duplicate it and place it over here also. Now select this thing that we created and basically what I want to do is I just want to create like a border like thing. So to do that what we can do is press tab, press 3 and select both these faces and then just insert this like this. Press X and delete the faces and then we can press 1 for vertices select, hold alt, select this loop, hold shift and alt, select this loop. Then you can press Ctrl E and select bridge edge loops. So this will basically join them so that they are not hollow anymore. And now basically I will select this, then press Ctrl C and copy location. And yeah, just place it over here like this. Obviously I will press tab, enable X-ray and just select it and bring it right over here. I think that looks like a pretty good outline that we have given this. So we can like make this metal shape to give it like a metal covering. I think it looks really good. Alright, to move further, let's quickly look at in the reference image. You can see this metal like thing that I've created just now. We will like maybe create a chip like thing inside it. So it is not really visible over here, but we can maybe create something like a USB chip that has like golden sticks on it. So let's see. Just press shift A, let's add a cube, scale this down. Yeah, I think something like this works perfect. It is really small and it won't be that visible, so we don't have to go that deep with it. Make sure to hit save. Now I will just select this piece and press slash on my number pad to go into the local mode so that I can just work on this. Press 1 for the front view and we can create small boxes onto it just to create those golden chips that we usually see on the USBs. We can scale it like this so that it appears both sides. And yeah, that's pretty good. We can now just directly use the array modifier, set the X factor to 0 and increase the Z factor like this and just repeat it a couple of times. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. We can press slash to come out of the local mode again. Next, what I will do is I will just quickly add a box, scale it down, and just place it over here right at the back. And the reason I'm doing this is because it would be like much easier to just select this box and give it like a black texture and easily texture the backside of this USB. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this. Let's just hit save and press 3, and let's see what we have to do next. We have to create these cutouts now, which have like the labels for these like controls. So let's just do that. Add a cube, place it over here, scale it down like this. Press Ctrl A, apply the scale. Let's just duplicate this over here at the top also and scale it up like this again. And again, apply the scale for this also. Now make sure to just select them both first. Okay, so we can just select the main body, hide it, select them both. So to hide, you just need to press H. So after you have selected them both, bring them out over here. Then press Alt plus H to bring back the hidden objects. Alright. Now I will place them like this and make sure to select both of them and then press Ctrl A, apply the scale. Then press Tab to go into the edit mode. Press 2 for edge select. Hold Ctrl and Alt and select all these 4 edges. Then hold Shift, Ctrl and Alt, all 3 of them, to select all these edges at once. Press 1. Okay, one thing that I completely forgot is we don't really have to bevel these things over here on this corner because it is really beveled at this side only. As you can see in the reference image also, it is only really beveled over here on 2 sides and not on the bottom. So yeah, we don't need to select them all. Just hold Shift and manually select these 4. Press 3, then just press Ctrl B. Give it a couple of segments and yeah, that's pretty good in my opinion. Shade smooth this and enable auto smooth for both of them. Select these two and select this piece, then press Ctrl minus. Let's move the bevel modifier at the bottom. Okay, we have a couple of issues. Let's just quickly address them. As I mentioned earlier, whenever you have like shading issues, just move around your objects a little bit. And yeah, as you see, more often than not, they will fix themselves. So it was just being caused because it was too close to the edge. So I will just bring it up over here and select all these things also. To move them ahead a little bit. Hit save and let's see. I will select these two and let's try pushing them in here. So it doesn't really work. It is kind of giving us a lot of shading issues. So let's just keep it till here only, and obviously the cutout is like really small. So till here I think is pretty good. Yeah, I think our object is looking really nice now. Everything is coming along pretty well, but I am not quite liking how this like dial turned out. So I just want to make a couple of changes to this, or rather I will be just modeling it completely again. So it is looking like really thick right now and it does not have enough segments in my opinion. So make sure to just select this cylinder and you can press slash to go into the isolation mode, and then you can press shift plus S to bring the cursor over here right at the cylinder. And let's press shift A now and add another cylinder. Let's zoom out, and first to give it like a lot more segments, do not click anywhere and click on this menu over here and increase the vertices from 32 to 64. I think that is pretty good. Now I can just scale it down like this, rotate it on the x-axis by 90 degrees, Press 1 for front view and scale it up like this. And for now, we can just delete this older one, or maybe you can hide it or whatever you want. Shade smooth this, enable auto smooth. And first, let's see how it looks over here. I will just make it a little bit thinner, push it over here, and we can maybe just bring this out like this to cover up the remaining space. Just quickly check with the reference image. And yeah, I think this fits much better with the reference image. So I'm just going with that only. And now press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press Tab. And now we can do the same thing. So press 3, hold Alt and select this loop only, complete loop. And this time just press I to insert this. And you can press I once again, if you remember, to insert the individual faces. And let's just insert this till here. Press Alt E and extrude faces along normal and extrude it inwards. And I think this looks much better in my opinion. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that now. So let's just hit save. And now we can continue modeling for the left side. So for the right side, we needed to press 3. For the left side, we need to press Ctrl plus 3. And first, we need to align our reference image properly, because right now it is aligned with the right side only. So basically what we can do is, as our work with the right side is done now, we can press Ctrl plus 3, select this image, press G, then Y, and bring it over here. But you might notice that the image is flipped right now. So we also need to flip it back. So to do that, press S, then Y, and then type in -1. And you will see that the image is flipped back again. And we can just place it perfectly along with our model. All right, I think that's pretty good. We can now continue modeling again. Now you must remember that you need to press Ctrl plus 3 to get over to the left side, and let's start. We can start by pressing Shift A, and let's add a cube, scale this down and place it over here. Press Tab, press 1 for vertices select, and let's bring these vertices right over here. Press Ctrl A and apply the scale. And now let's just press Tab to go into the edit mode. Press 2 for edge select. Hold Ctrl and Alt and select all these edges. Then again press Ctrl plus 3 and we can start beveling it. Okay, I again forgot, we do not need to bevel it over these edges. So let's just select the top edges. Then press Ctrl 3. Then press Ctrl plus B to bevel them out. And yeah, I think this much is pretty good. We can now bring it out over here. Shade smooth this, enable auto smooth, and select these two, press Ctrl minus. Bring the Boolean modifier above the bevel modifier and the weighted normal. Let's bring it out over here. Alright, now what we need to do is we need to first let's just press Shift plus S and cursor to select it. First select this, sorry. Then press Shift plus S, cursor to select it. Bring the cursor over here. Then you can press Shift A, let's add a cube, scale this down. And it is not really visible over here, but over here there is another dial. I think it is for contrast or something. You can just quickly look it up over here. So as you can see, there is another dial over here. So we need to create a Boolean cutout first, then another cutout inside it, and then we can place the dial in over there. So I will just select this, press Tab, enable X-ray, and just move it a little bit like this. And we can again select this cube, scale it up like this. I'll just place it back over here. Select these two again, press Ctrl minus. Make sure to move the Boolean modifier above the bevel. Now we can just go over here and copy the dial and this square like cube. So press Ctrl C and then Ctrl V. Press G to move them around. So press G then X and bring them out over here. Press Ctrl plus 3. Let's rotate them by 180 degrees. Let's see. I think this is pretty good. We can maybe move the dial inside a little bit. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I will just select all three of them and increase their size a little bit. Alright, that's pretty good in my opinion, I think. Yeah, that looks fine. Then again, press Ctrl plus 3 and let's move over here. Again, add a cube, scale it down, place it over here, scale it on the Z axis. You can just press tab now, select all these vertices and bring them down. Make sure to enable the X-ray because if you don't enable the X-ray and select the vertices, only the front ones would be selected and it can mess up your model. So make sure to enable X-ray and then select. Now move it back over here. Press tab, press Ctrl A and apply the scale. And again press tab to go into the edit mode. Select only these two edges. Press Ctrl 3, enable X-ray and bevel them out. Yeah, that's perfect. Shade smooth this, enable auto smooth. And now we will just select both of the objects. Select this one, then hold shift and select this one, then press Ctrl plus minus to create the Boolean difference and bring the Boolean modifier above the bevel. And yeah, I think that looks nice. We can next add like a, I think there is like a charger or plugin like thing over here. So we can create that now. So let's see, basically let's just add a cube, scale it down, place it right over here. Press Ctrl A, apply the scale. Press tab to go into the edit mode and just select these two edges. Press Ctrl 3 and bevel them out completely like this to make this rounded shape. Shade smooth this, enable auto smooth, and again just create a cutout of this. Move the Boolean modifier above the bevel modifier. It's still not working, so I think, let's see. Press tab to go into the edit mode, press A to select everything, then you can press shift plus N, and yeah, now it is working. Basically the normals were wrong, so by pressing shift plus N you can recalculate the normals and it is fixed now. I'm just moving this back edge a little bit to create something like this. Yeah, that's pretty good. And if you look in the reference image quickly, we have like a hole like thing over here. Let's create that. So again, I will just select this, press Shift plus S, cursor to selected. Let's bring a cylinder over here. Rotate this on the Y axis by 90 degrees. And now just before doing anything, first apply the scale, shade smooth this, enable auto smooth, and just duplicate it. So press Shift plus D to duplicate and hit right click to place it exactly over there. Now you can select these two items, then press Ctrl minus. Move the bevel modifier above the bevel modifier. And yeah, now you can just push this downwards, scale it in a little bit. And I will select this, press tab, press Ctrl A, apply the scale first. Then press 3 for face select. Select this top face, press I to insert this and extrude this inwards like this. Just to make sure it is a little bit deeper, I will increase the size of the boolean cutout. And let's select this now, press slash. We can press tab and delete this back face. So press X and delete the face. Let's move it backwards. And yeah, that's pretty good. I will again select this, press Shift plus S, cursor to selected, add another cylinder and make this one really small like this. Rotate it on the Y by 90 degrees again, scale it down, scale on the X axis, and this will be like the iron pin that stays at the center. Maybe we can increase the scale of this. Apply the scale, shade smooth this and enable auto smooth. Press tab, press 3 for face select and select the top face and just bevel it out like this. And yeah, that's pretty good in my opinion. I will just select this thing and scale it down a little bit. And yeah, that's pretty good in my opinion. Let's just hit save. So before we actually start modeling the backside of a model, there is one little issue that we need to fix. One thing that I noticed was when I was looking through the reference image, these lines that we have created, like these ones, all these, they only go at the front of the model and not at the back side. Like as you can see over here in the reference image, there are no lines over here, but we have added them at the back side also. Another thing, they are like really thin in the actual model and we have created them like really thick. So I just quickly want to fix this issue before we actually proceed further. So don't worry, it is like really easy to do. What we can start with is, first let's select the main object and basically just press slash for the local mode, so that you can easily focus on this only and not the other objects. Then press tab to go into the edit mode, and to delete them press 3 for face select and then hold alt and select this complete loop, and then hold shift and alt and select this complete loop. You need to only select these two loops, then press X and delete the vertices. Make sure to delete the vertices and you will see everything is removed now. Only I think these 4 edges are remaining. So just press 2 for edge select and just select these 4 edges over here at the top. Press X and delete the vertices. And now you can see we have this kind of hollow shape. So we just need to fill in the faces. It is really easy to do. Basically, you can start with this big face over here. So select these two edges and basically just press F to fill the space in between them. And now you do not need to do it for each and every single edge. You can just select this edge over here, then keep on pressing F like this, and you will see it fills out automatically. So just keep on pressing it till here. Don't go further from here because there is like a space in between. We need to select these two edges, press F, then select these two edges, press F, and again select it and press F to fill these remaining ones out. And then again pause over here, select these two, press F, select these two, press F. And yeah, this way we can just quickly fill out these spaces. Again select this and now keep on filling. Select these two, press F, select these two and press F. Alright, so this is done. Moving on over here, select these two edges, then press F. And similarly, now you can select this edge over here and just fill out everything quickly. Do it for the back side also. And yeah, you can see that we are done so quickly. Alright, so what we need to do first is we need to decrease their thickness. So hold Alt and select this loop, hold Shift and Alt, select this loop. And I want to check the edge length first. So select edge length. You can just select this edge and you can see it is 0.028 meters and this one is also 0.028 meters. So now we can reduce their thickness. So hold Alt, press 3 for face select, hold Alt and select this, hold Shift and Alt and select this. And now press S then X and you will see when we scale them down, it does not give us the desired results as the edge loops start moving. So to fix this, it is very easy. Currently, median point is selected over here and you need to change this to individual origins. So transform pivot point, we need to set this to individual origins because when we set this to individual origins, you will see they would be scaling down only over their individual origins and not move around. So now we can scale them easily. So let's check the edge length over here and maybe I want to decrease it down to 0.01. I think that would be pretty good. Yeah, let's do the same thing for all of them now. So hold Alt, select this loop, then press S, then Z. And you need to check this edge thickness over here. So just set this to 0.01 again. You can hold Shift to like decrease the speed so that you can scale properly. And the last one is this one. Again, hold Alt and select this completely. And let's see the length over here. Press S, then Y. And yeah, that's perfect. Now all of them are equal. So what we need to do now is first disable edge length and also turn this back to median point. Hold Alt, select this loop, then hold Alt and Shift, select this loop. Again, while holding Shift and Alt, just select all the loops. And now we need to deselect it from the back side. So to make a deselection, you can just hold Control and just deselect it like this. Whatever comes in the selection would be removed from the selection. So hold Control and just drag out your selection like this. And make sure nothing is over here at the back side. And yeah, I think now it is pretty good. So press Alt plus E and extrude faces along normal and just extrude this downwards. Alright. Yeah, I think this looks much better than the older one. Let's press slash to come out of the local mode. And let's see our model. I think our model looks much more cleaner now. So now let's continue modeling the backside. So first we need to set up the reference image. So let's press 1. And what I will do is basically I will select this reference image, press G then Y and move it ahead like this. So now that when I press Ctrl plus 1, we can see the backside. And now we can easily set up the image according to the backside. So first we need to flip it because everything is opposite. So select it, press S then X and type in -1. And now just align it with your model. Make sure to just align it properly. You can use this edge as your reference and just properly align it with the image. And yeah, I think that's pretty good. So let's see, we can start by creating this panel over here. So for this, I think we need to create a separate object. You can check in the reference image also. We have like a extrusion coming out of here. So let's see. What we can do is we can first select this, press Shift S, then cursor to select it. Bring the cursor over here and let's just press Shift A and add a cube. Scale this down. Press Ctrl+1 for the backside view. And let's scale it according to this reference image. Yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Bring it out over here. And first we need to press Ctrl A and apply the scale. And in the reference image, I think it is kind of rounded. So we can just press Tab, press 2 and select this edge, select this edge. Make sure the scale is applied and just press Ctrl B and bevel it out like this. Shade smooth this, enable auto smooth, press Tab and I will press 3 for face select. And let's select this bottom face and we can create something like this. Okay, it is overlapping over here. So make sure there is no overlapping going on. So yeah, I think this much bevel is pretty good. Now what we basically need to do is we will be using the union boolean modifier. So just select this, then press Control and plus on your number pad. And you can see now they both have joined. So what we need to do is we again need to just move the boolean modifier above the bevel modifier this way. And yeah, I think it is working fine. Let's press 3 for the right side view, enable X-ray. And you can see it is not that outwards. So just push it in till here. Also, let's press Tab, enable X-ray and press 1 for vertice select. Select this and let's bring it down. All right, that looks pretty good in my opinion. Next, what we need to do is now we need to create the space over here that there is like an empty space to insert the cartridge like this. So let's create that now. Again, I will press Ctrl+1, enable X-ray, and let's just again add a cube. Scale it on the x-axis till here. And let's see how much space we have to give between the switch over here and the space. So it is something around this much. Let's see. Yeah, I think this much is pretty good. Now what I will do is press Tab, press 3 for face select. Select this face and let's just move it inwards. Just about till here, I think. And now you can just scale it downwards like this. I will scale it down a little bit more on the y-axis. Let's place it over here, press Tab, press 3 for face select and bring it out just about till here. Yeah, that's perfect. Now just select this, then select this, press Ctrl minus. And you can see we have created a cutout. Maybe I will press Tab, press 3 for face select and let's see. Let's bring it out a little bit. So yeah, this will be the space to add the cartridge. And again, we will be just moving the Boolean modifier above the bevel modifier. And yeah, that looks all right. Let's add these things now. We can add these small details. Press Shift A, add a cube. Scale it down, place it over here. Press Ctrl A, apply the scale and press, first bring it out, then press tab and let's just select these top two vertices, I mean edges, and then we can just bevel them according to the image. And yeah, that's pretty good, I think. Shade smooth this and enable auto smooth. So these are like pretty much the same things that we have been doing a lot of times in this course. Select this, press Ctrl plus minus. And let's see, we can press tab, press 2 for edge select and select this edge over here at the back. So just select it, press G, then Y, I think, to bring it out on the Y axis like this. Just to create something like this. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now I will just select this, press Ctrl plus 1, enable X-ray, and let's duplicate this. Make sure to press X so that it is locked on the X axis like this, and place it over here. Select them both, press Ctrl minus, and just quickly move the Boolean modifier above the bevel modifier. Alright, so everything is going along pretty well. Let's just add these nuts over here. Again, add a cylinder, scale it down, place it over here, rotate it on the y-axis by 90 degrees, I think. Oh, sorry, on the x by 90 degrees. Scale it down. Shade smooth this, enable auto smooth. Now let's just go into the edit mode. So press tab, press A to select everything, then press shift plus D to duplicate. The reason I'm duplicating this in the edit mode is so that everything stays the same object only and we don't have like 4 different objects. Select them all again, press shift plus D, then press X to lock on the X axis and just place it like this. Now while this object is selected, hold shift, select the main object, press Ctrl plus minus, and yeah, just move the Boolean modifier now. And let's see, for the nuts, what you can do is one thing that is very simple. You can basically just add a cylinder. So press shift plus S. Let's just add a cylinder like this, rotate it, because like it is very small, it won't be that visible. And we can push it inwards like this. We can maybe do something at the top, like insetting this, extruding this, creating a light bevel to like give this a nut like feeling. But if you want to create like a proper looking nut and bolt, there is another method. You go over to edit, preferences, and in the add-on section, search for bolt. Yeah, this bolt factory. And this way we can like easily create these nut and bolts. So press shift A, and in the mesh section of your add menu, you will find this. Where is it? Yeah, over here, this bolt at the bottom. And now you can just use this menu. We have like nut and bolt, so we only need the bolt. You can choose the different types, like you can select this, this, or this. So you can select none. You can also select the different shapes. So yeah, I just wanted to show you, because if you want to add it this way, you can definitely do it. So yeah, let's just choose something like this and change the head to, yeah, that's the most basic looking nut, I think. And what I will do is, so that we don't have like too many polygons, so press G then Y, move it over here, press tab, enable X-ray, and I'm just holding Shift and Alt and selecting all these vertices. Let's see. Then just press X and delete the vertices. Again, select this loop, press X and delete the vertices. So yeah, everything is deleted. Just except this top part of the nut. The reason I'm doing this is because only this part would be visible and the rest of it would be pretty much invisible. So I don't want to just waste polygons on that. So yeah, if you want to create something basic like that, you can definitely do it. But let's just add this one for the sake of adding it. Rotate it on the X by 90 degrees. Now you are noticing that the origin point is located over here. So it is rotating in kind of a weird way. So to fix this, just go over to Object, Set Origin and Origin to Geometry. Now this way the origin point is over here and it is basically our pivot point. So we can easily now rotate it properly. So rotate it on the X by 90 degrees. Rotate it by minus 90, I think. Yeah. Let's scale it down, place it over here and just push it backwards. Okay, where is it? Over here. Yeah. You can press the dot key on your number pad to focus on the objects very easily like this. So let's just place this far behind. And yeah, in my opinion, I think it looks pretty good. You can definitely customize your nut if you want to, however you want. And now let's just duplicate this, press Z and place it over here. Select them both, press Shift plus D, then press X and place this one over here like this. Let's hit save. And yeah, that looks fine. Again, press Ctrl plus 1, enable X-ray. And let's see what else we can create. Let's add these things now. So it is pretty simple. Let's look at in the reference image first. So basically this is like a simple cutout, this one and this one. All these numbers and everything we will be adding in the texturing part. So yeah, let's just create these cutouts first. So press Shift A, add a cube. I will just select this, press Shift plus S cursor to select it so that the cube is added over here. It just makes it a little bit easier. Press Ctrl A, apply the scale. And on this cube, there is not really any kind of bevel. It is not rounded. So let's just keep it this way only. Select them both and press Ctrl minus. Just move the bevel modifier, the Boolean modifier above the bevel modifier and bring this out just so there is like a very faint cut. And yeah, that's pretty good. Let's do the same for the above box also. Shift plus D to duplicate it, press Z, lock on the Z axis and scale it down like this. Everything is already set. I think we need to just place it backwards. Just select them both, press Ctrl minus. I will also quickly collapse all these modifiers because now they're getting a bit too much. So let's continue modeling our object. I will press Ctrl plus 1, enable X-ray and let's see. We can now create this battery case over here first. So let's press Shift plus A, add a cube, scale this down. And just scale it according to the reference image. One more thing that I will do is before moving further, let's just bring this out first. I will select this piece, press Tab, enable X-ray and just select all of the bottom vertices like this and just move it downwards till here. Because in the reference image also I noticed it is like placed quite at the edge. So yeah, let's just place it somewhere till here, I think. Next I will just select this, enable X-ray and scale it till here. Let's move this up a little bit. Yeah, I think now it is pretty good. Alright, so press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press tab again for edit mode, enable X-ray, and add two edge loops like this. So you can scroll your mouse wheel. First press Ctrl R, then scroll mouse wheel to add two edge loops. Hit right click to place them exactly at the center like this, and just scale them down so that they match these two lines over here. And yeah, now we can just select these vertices over here and press E to extrude them till here like this. Let's scale it down on the y-axis. And now press Ctrl A, apply the scale, press tab, press 2 for edge select and select these two edges. Press Ctrl plus 1, enable X-ray, and let's just bevel them out now. Alright, that's pretty good, I think. Now we need to use the intersect operation again. So shade smooth this, enable auto smooth, and select this, then press Ctrl plus slash. Let's move the let's move the Boolean modifier above the bevel modifier for both of them. We are seeing a little bit of shading issues over here because I think it is too close to this edge. So just press tab, press 3 for face select and select these three faces and just move it up a little bit, just so we don't face any kind of shading issues. We can also press tab, press 3 for face select, select these two faces and just move them a little bit inwards. Press S then X and scale them down like this. And yeah, now everything is fine in my opinion. Alright, let's see. Next, we can create this thing over here. So let's just press Shift A. First, I will select this piece, press Shift plus S, cursor to select it. Now press Shift A, add a cube, scale it down, place it over here. Let's bring this out. Now select this, then press Ctrl plus minus to create the difference operation. And now move the Boolean modifier above the bevel. I will select this, then press Shift S, cursor to select it. And let's see. Now we can maybe first add a cube, scale it down. So we can just maybe create it randomly. Then I will just duplicate this, move it down, scale it up like this. Press tab, press 3 for face select, select this face, press E to extrude it downwards, then select this and press E to extrude it outwards like this. We can maybe select this, press tab, press 3 to select both these faces, press I, then insert them like this. Or wait, undo this, press Ctrl R and add an edge loop like this. And just select these two faces, press Alt T and extrude faces along normal. And I think something like this is fine. It won't be that visible. We can just join these two. So select them both, press Ctrl J, press Ctrl A, apply the scale and just add a bevel modifier. Harden normals and auto smooth. And yeah, I think from far away it looks alright. We can maybe select this, press 2 for edge select, select this edge and just bevel it out a little bit. Again, shade smooth this, enable auto smooth. And maybe something like this is pretty good. It looks fine from far away. So yeah, let's just continue now. Press Ctrl plus 1 again, enable X-ray. And now we need to add these edges, like these cutouts. So first, let's start over here. These ones are only placed inside the battery case. So let's just add a cube, scale it down, and just match it with the reference image, scale it up like this. Yeah, I think this much is pretty good. And now we just need to use the array modifier. Set the x factor to 0 and increase the z factor. Place it till here. Now just keep on duplicating. Yeah, everything fits perfectly. Disable X-ray, let's bring them out. Select this, then press Ctrl minus. And now let's just move the Boolean modifier above the bevel. And yeah, this looks fine. We can maybe move it out a little bit. Alright, this is pretty good, I think. Let's continue. Press Ctrl plus 1 again. Enable X-ray and just select this piece that we just created. Press Shift plus D to duplicate it and press X to lock on the X-axis and just move it up over here. You can press Tab to enable the edit mode and see if it fits perfectly. And yeah, it is fitting. Now just increase the count so that it comes till here. Next, what I will do is I will use the mirror modifier to mirror it exactly over here also. So let's just add the mirror modifier and we need to mirror it on the y-axis, I think. But first we need to select the mirror object that can act as the axis. So I think this object would be fine. So just select this first, click on this dropper tool and select this object like this. So yeah, we need to mirror it on the x-axis and you can see it mirrors perfectly. We'll just see now. We can move it backwards. And now just select this, then press Ctrl minus. Move it down a little bit more. We cannot really see it, but if we move the Boolean modifier above the bevel modifier, I think it would be better visible. Yeah. Let's just move it a little bit more. Yeah, now it is working perfectly. Alright. So you can see we easily duplicated it over here. Next, last thing what we need to do is we need to copy them over here also. So let's just select this only, duplicate it again, enable X-ray, press Tab for the edit mode, and now you can easily place it over here like this. Press 1 for the vertices select these vertices and place them right about here, maybe till here I think, and just decrease the array count to 3 because there are only 3 of them. And now again select this, then select this, press Ctrl minus and add the Boolean modifier above the bevel modifier. Alright, I think that's pretty good. We can hit save now. Let's see, in the reference images, these cutouts are coming over here on the right, on these sides also. So we can maybe do that now. Okay, they are appearing till this line over here. So basically what we can do is we can edit this object only to add those lines or the cutouts over here also. So let's see, we can first press Tab to go into the edit mode and basically press Ctrl R and just add an edge loop. It would be very laggy because it is like currently a cutout in the Boolean operation. So that's why it is like really slow. What you can do is you can maybe disable the shadow and cavity from over here. It would make it just a little bit more smoother, not that much, but yeah, it would definitely help. So just add the edge loop a little bit inside like this and then add another one like this over here maybe somewhere around here, and we can just select this, press X and delete the vertices, and then press 3, select this face and press E and extrude it like this. And you can see we have easily created the cutout. Let's move this, so press G then Y and move it over here till this line in the center. Let's see in the reference image, so it is like really close to it. Press G then Y again, and let's move it a little bit more further. Until here I think is pretty good. Press tab to come out of the edit mode, and let's see. You will notice everything is properly mirrored over the right side also. Sorry, the left side, but we are seeing some shading issues. So let's see. Again, press tab, and I will just select this face, press G, then Y, and come over this side first, then press G, then Y, and move it a little bit backwards just to check if we still see any kind of shading issues. So they are still here. I don't think they are being caused because of this. Let's see. We can maybe check any other object is causing these shading issues, I think. Okay, so I think it is this one. So I will just select this. We can enable back the shadow and cavity because it is a little bit difficult to see around without it. And yeah, I will just quickly select everything and press G then Y and move it a little bit ahead. And yeah, now some of the shading issues have disappeared. Let's select this also and move it ahead. And yeah, mainly these two were causing the shading issues because they were like intersecting with this edge over here. And now I think everything is solved. Just quickly look through your model if you find any kind of potential shading issues in any of the objects. So I'm seeing a little bit over here. So again, just select all of it, whatever is in the center, and move it around just a little bit while holding shift. And you will see that, yeah, it disappears. So you just have to move it around a little bit here and there. And most of the times the issues would be gone. Let's select this and see, yeah, if all the modifier stack is correct. And yeah, the bevel modifier and the weighted normal should be at the bottom. And you can see without the weighted normal, we have like so many shading issues going on. Everything looks like really weird, but yeah, with that enabled, it can fix mostly all of our issues. And I think we are pretty much done with our model. Let's just quickly look through the reference image once to see if we missed anything. Press Ctrl+1 to see the backside. And yeah, I think we are more or less done with everything. Let's just hit save first. Alright guys, so with this we are done with the modeling of our Nintendo Game Boy, and we are done with this video as well, which was the part 1 of this series. In the next part we will be texturing and rendering it, so make sure to subscribe so that you can stay tuned for the part 2. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.